For 20 years, Britain's greatest chef cooked classic French cuisine.
Everything was French, French, French.
Now Marco Pierre White is going back to his roots.
This time, my love affair is with Britain.
Travelling the length and breadth of the UK, he's on a mission to put together an all-British menu.
This is something very, very special.
Look at the size of that can. It's ridiculous.
Using all British ingredients.
I love pigs. I think everyone should have a pig. So every time they have a mouthful, they're eating a little piece of Britain.
He'll be testing his dishes on a group of diners.
Looks my kind of menu, I was telling you.
It's raw venison, it's not cooked.
I'd rather stick pins in my eyes.
Before one final challenge.
Oh, let's put your bollocks on the table, Marco.
At the end of his journey, the chosen dishes will be served to over 200 people.
Oh, wait.
At his great British feast.
I'm putting myself out there to fight for what I believe in.
Last time, Marco was searching for main courses for his menu. This week, he's heading back out into nature's larder on the hunt for starters. Having already chosen fish pie to be his main course at the feast, Marco is now looking for potential starters. And he already has an idea for one of the options. The second leg of his journey has brought him to the small fishing village of Clovelly in North Devon, where for centuries fishermen have netted one of our less fashionable fish.
Herrings, I love. They are delicious. And I think a lot of people can't get their head around them. And that's what makes me want to put it on the menu, because they can't get their head around them. The word herring, they, ooh, no.
Today, Marco's joining Joe Rossi and harbour master Stephen Perham, who still fish for herring in the traditional way.
One day I was in Clovelly shooting. I saw this bloke coming in to the harbour in his rowing boat, taking little fish out of his nets. I thought, interesting. So I went down to see him. He'd been catching herrings. I said, and how much will you get for all those herrings? He said, 30 quid. I said, that's a lot of graft for 30 quid. He said to me, if I didn't do it, then no one would do it. And that would be the end of a tradition, because my father, my grandfather, his father, all netted herrings.
Herring is wonderful. It has a unique flavour. It's a lot better than any whitefish you can get. You know, it's full of all those proteins, omega-3s and all that. It's lovely. It's a fantastic fish.
I'm 75 years old. I eat it every day.
And I'm his grandfather.
Hello, boys. How are you?
Wonderful.
Not too bad.
Long time no see.
How's it going, right?
Really well.
That's my favourite harbour master.
Oh, we're struggling. I'm struggling. I'm bearing up under the strain.
You know about the smoking man, don't you?
On the boat?
Yeah.
I didn't know. When did that come into play?
About 2 minutes ago, actually.
I love that. I don't mind.
Come on, get aboard.
Would you say these were perfect conditions today?
Yes, the water conditions are absolutely perfect. The coloured water is what we're looking for, yeah.
Out of 10, is this a 9 out of 10 day, a 10 out of 10 day?
Condition-wise.
It's a 10 out of 10 day.
Conditions is 10 out of 10.
Conditions you'll be looking for normally.
Yeah.
And what do you estimate you'll get today? Do you think you'll get a net full?
We will get a net full. If we're lucky, we might catch a couple of hundred or something.
What, fish or pounds?
Fish.
But someone else has got his eye on Marco's fish.
He knows you're here, doesn't he?
Oh, yeah, he knows the boat.
He knows you.
That's gonna.
That's in the ball street right up.
That's right up. Right.
And how many herrings will he gobble?
I don't know how much they can eat.
It's not necessarily what he'll eat, it's what they frighten away as well.
He really does affect us down here as well.
That's the seals under there. You just see the hurling on the top.
The boys have gone down.
Picking and fishing.
Bastards.
With the weather now changing for the worse and a seal picking off their haul, Stephen and Joe decide enough's enough. Time to cut their losses and pull in the catch.
Are you feeling confident, boys? Does that net look full?
It doesn't look full, but hopefully.
and many hands make light work.
Marco, can you do a bit of net pulling as well?
Sorry?
Can you do a bit of net pulling as well?
Are you mad? It's freezing. No way. I'm sitting here. I'm a guest today. Will they be coming to do the cooking when they come to the banquet? No, they won't. They'll be sitting down, having their dinner, and I'm doing all the graft. No. I'm just sitting here. Sorry, boys. I'll have a pint with you.
I've seen a bloody fish.
The seal's eaten them all.
What's going on there?
Twist.
Oh, my God. Fish. Ah, there's a fish.
Looks like...
What's
Pilchard.
that? A pilchard.
No, it's not.
No, it's a herring.
It's a little herring.
Well, at least we've got one.
No, it's a pilchard.
Is that another pilchard? Yeah. So this is a bad day, isn't it?
This is a bad
This
day.
is not
Yeah,
good.
we're not catching much fish here at the moment. No, unfortunately.
Hey, you have to have crap days, you know all the good ones are.
Fish.
That's a herring.
There's a nice herring.
No,
Is that herring?
it's a... Oops.
Beautiful. The first herring, isn't he? Like a bar of silver.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
See,
Beautiful,
they're
eh?
very green on top.
I think we'll get to double figures.
No.
I doubt it the way it's going.
Yeah, this is rubbish. As soon as we saw that seal, we... Oh.
Yeah.
You knew.
There would have been more fish if you wanted the seal. The seal's frightened them off.
Time for a cup of tea, boys.
Oh, definitely.
We got 6 fish. How good was that? 2 pilchards, 2 herrings, and 2 whiting. And now we're going to smoke with a lot of them.
Still alive.
The morning's fishing has been a complete washout, but it's not all doom and gloom. Marco can still sample a local delicacy, smoked herring, otherwise known as kippers.
That's very nice.
A brace of herring.
I can't wait to taste it. In 1 hour's time, we'll be eating smoked kippers.
Lovely.
Can't wait.
In for a treat.
Kippers.
There we go. We're going to be a bit soft. Usually leave them a little bit long just to firm up. But,
That's delicious. Really delicious. We have great fish in our waters. Great fish. I'm not saying herring is everyone's cup of tea, but I think it's very important to take people and share something with them. Because what I'm looking for is realness. I want realness on the plate, I want realness of produce, and I want realness of people's views. Boys, I've got to go back to London. I've got to go to a meeting.
Right.
Good luck, mate.
See you
God
again.
bless. I'll come and see you soon. I'll come in the summer with my boys.
we'll look
God
for
bless.
our time to take
Love
you
to
the
Rem,
banquet.
okay?
With the unfashionable herring firmly on the shortlist, Joe and Stephen will have to head back out to sea.
So what I'm going to prepare for you now is soused herrings. These are the herring fillets, and they've been in brine for 3 hours. The second stage is the pickling syrup. We take some of the onions, which have been sliced very finely, and then they're blanched in water. Some of the carrots. And then what we do is just lay the fillets in the dish. And then we take the rest of our onions, the rest of our carrots. Now, your pickling syrup, 750 of white wine vinegar to 250 of castor sugar. In a pan, bring to the boil. When it's cold, add your star anise, green peppercorns, white and black peppercorns, bay leaf and fresh thyme. And all we do is we just pour that over. There's no real skill to this job. So now I'll put that in the fridge for 2 to 3 days, depending on the size of the fillets. So our herrings have been in for just over 2 days. These are young beetroot, and they work amazingly well with a bit of sour cream and horseradish. Like little chocolate cherries. Like looking for women. Beautiful shape. Pretty. Fresh horseradish. The sour cream, tiny bit of horseradish on each one. A little bit more of the garnish. Let's be honest, you could just make a beetroot salad in a bowl, herrings on a plate. Your choice. You know, I like to show off. And some of these nice little spices. Just putting some chives on the beetroot. And so there's our soused herrings with our beetroot salad, with the sour cream and the grated horseradish.
Coming up,
Come on, boy.
Marco's making friends
I think everyone should have a pig.
as he looks to challenge his diner's palates.
People should have more courage. You get the mincer out and then serve it raw. Nice, eh?
No.
An Englishman's home is his castle, and for Marco Pierre White, home is his beloved pub in the heart of the Hampshire countryside.
I love pubs. I don't like boozers, which have fruit machines, lager, a million bottles in the fridges. A pub, to me, should be an eating and drinking house.
In preparation for the Great British Feast, a select group of guests will be invited to the pub to taste Marco's choice of potential starters. They will then help him decide which one should be served to more than 200 people at the feast.
When you are going to stand up and say that you're going to create a Great British Feast, I think what I have to do is allow others in and ask them for their opinions.
With the taster day looming, Marco's hit the road to seek out another starter. Accompanied by long-suffering companion Mr. Ishii, he wants to explore the idea of serving fresh game. So he's heading back out into nature's larder. Today, the deer and pheasants of the Sussex countryside are safe.
We're here in West Sussex to shoot pigeons with a dear old friend of mine, David Whitby. They're not that easy to shoot, actually, because they're coming from all angles. But the reality is, if they start to come, pigeon shooting is, without doubt, the most exciting of shooting.
Travelling in enormous flocks of several thousand birds, in some parts of the UK, wood pigeons are now the #1 agricultural pest. But bizarrely, are often found on the menus of posh restaurants.
We get a couple of dozen. Very nice. Maybe 30, maybe 50.
Gimp mask.
Oh, I love that. I saw a field the other day, it must have 500 in it, David.
I bet we've got flocks around here of that and more at the moment, mate. There's a lot of pigeons about. It's, what time is it now, about 11:30?
I've got a clue.
It's that, we might have a little bit of a wait while they fed this morning, and they're obviously sitting in those trees over there digesting, so... but I expect there'll be a bit of action fairly soon. There's a lot of, I mean, there are thousands of pigeons in the area.
How long have we been waiting? About an hour?
No, about 15 minutes, mate.
No, we've been here more than 15 minutes.
25 minutes.
It seems like an hour.
It does, doesn't it? Come on, pigeons. Pigeon coming over. He saw us from behind. He might swing round. Marco, coming.
Oh, behind you. Behind, above you.
One coming straight at us, Marco. I'll tell you when to turn. Hold still. Too far.
We're in those woods, aren't they?
Yeah.
It's not going to happen, is it? You just know it's not, isn't it?
The joys of pigeon shooting.
There's easier ways than making money.
Easier ways or what?
Making money.
What, than shooting pigeons?
Than sitting in a hide.
Yeah.
After an hour in the hide and no pigeon to put on his menu, Marco's losing interest. But David's keen to make sure his trip to Sussex is worthwhile.
Well, I'm good, mate. I'm with Marco. And someone has told him that you've got the biggest bullocks in the country.
And he'd very much like to come and have a look, because we're sat in a pigeon hide just protecting British agriculture. He's actually said there are more pigeons in Trafalgar Square.
Look at the size of that fucking cow. Can you imagine driving down the motorway and seeing that in field?
This is Crinkle.
Shit.
Weighing in at 1.5 tons, he is reputedly Britain's largest steer.
He's fucking massive. Look at the size of him. Mr. Ishii, come and stroke him. Come on. Come on, Mr. Ishii, come and stroke him. He's big. Come on. Is he taller than you, Mr. Ishii? Is he taller than you? He's taller than Mr. Ishii. How are you? Do you want to kiss him, Mr. Ishii? He's like an elephant. He's ridiculous, isn't he?
Despite being cheered up by meeting Crinkle, Marco is no nearer to finding his second starter. But he's had a tip-off about a potential dish that he's keen to consider. Along with Mr. Ishii, Marco's headed east.
I was talking to one of my great friends, Peter, the other day, and he was telling me about this cured ham he'd had and how they cure it. So obviously they cure it like a Parma ham or a York ham, but then they hang them in the trees. And he said to me, Marco, they take them out of the trees, cut off all the mould, and then the ham you eat is the most delicious. So I've come here today to look at this ham.
Marco has travelled to Knepp Castle, a 3,500-acre estate in West Sussex that has been home to the Burrell family for more than 200 years.
Hello, Charlie.
Marco, welcome.
Peter sends his very best. Lovely to be here.
Well, pleasure, yeah. Come in.
Very romantic here.
When he's not running the estate, keen foodie Charlie Burrell produces 8 unique hams a year, which he only gives to friends and family. And what's more, it's dry cured in an ancient oak tree for over a year.
What possessed you to want to start doing this?
I'm very interested in food, I think, is the answer.
It's your love of food.
Yes. The purpose of putting them out here and letting them live in this sort of environment is just this very slow process of drawing out moisture and getting the hams into a fit state to eat. Yeah, and it depends on how hot it is and how dry it is during the summer period to how quickly you can then start opening them up.
You know, there's something rather nice about a big ham. It's just one of the most delicious meals. You know, ham is delicious. And, you know, I've always loved a ham sandwich. I think it's my favourite sandwich, I'm not sure. But I love a ham sandwich. I love a croque monsieur. I love ham. I don't care whether it's pâte negra, whether it's jambon de Bayonne, whether it's York ham, whether it's boiled ham. Who cares?
Unsurprisingly, Marco's asked if he can meet Charlie's herd, which consists of 6 Tamworth pigs, the UK's oldest breed. They roam wild on the estate, feasting on acorns, which Charlie believes gives his ham its unique taste.
That's a big pig. Look at that. They're amazing. I think we should have more of them. I think everybody should have a pig, don't you? Look at them.
Now we know Marco likes ham, but to...
They're amazing. I think we should have more of them. I think everybody should have a pig, don't you? Look at them.
Now we know Marco likes ham, but to say he loves pigs is an understatement.
Pig's not everyone's cup of tea, but I love pig. I love these pigs. Does anyone ride them?
You want to give it a go?
No, I'm far too big for that. No. I love pigs, I do. I like pigs. I love them. Look at this one here. They've got very small eyes.
Tiny eyes, and you have to get right down to...
And this piggy went to market. Hello, boy. Hello. Come on. Come on, boy. Come on, girl. Yeah. Nice big trotters.
Do you like your trotters?
I love a trotter. I think what Charlie's doing here is amazing. But we still haven't eaten the ham yet. Obviously, we're saving the best until last. Produce is one thing, but the story behind it is really special. And what I want to do is include as much of the produce that I discover and I find on the menu. This is very exciting, Charlie.
Okay.
Have you named your ham? Have you given it a brand yet?
No.
Jambon de Chaly.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
It's a very good coat of fat there.
And you just wait to taste that fat, though, Marco, and it's I'll just cut a little bit off and then...
I mean, that is fantastic, Charlie. It's got that acorny flavour, hasn't it? Very good. Really delicious. Could I steal another little slice?
Of course.
This is something I'd love to put on my menu, because this is something very, very special. Really special. It might not be the finest ham I've ever had, but what I love is that his pigs live in the woods. I love the fact that he turns it into ham, and he puts it in the muslin, in the cage, so the squirrels can't eat it, and it's swinging in the back garden. I buy into that. Charlie's ham. How I like to eat it is with a celeriac salad with mayonnaise and mustard. Just slice it very thinly. It's one of those dishes which just works deliciously well. And so then what we've got to do is we put the celeriac in a bowl, and we just take a little bit of salt. We'll leave it for a couple of hours. What we're going to make now is some mayonnaise. Just take our egg yolks, a little bit of vinegar. Then we take the olive oil, and what we do is to start with just add our oil very slowly, because what we don't want to do is split it. A tablespoon Dijon mustard, a tablespoon of English mustard. And just finish off with a bit of seasoning. And so now what we do is we take some of our mayonnaise. I personally don't like too much mayonnaise, but having said that, I don't want too little. It almost looks like Dulux paint. So if you just put those to one side, you're not going to get Charlie's ham unless you're a maid. So when you go down the supermarket, when you go down your delicatessen, buy whatever cured meats you've got. And the celeriac salad with the mustard works fantastically well with it. And there's something rather nice about carving a pig. I mean, this pig, he was the poshest of pigs. As you can see, look at that fat coating. I mean, that is a real pig. That is the best of British. This is old-fashioned pig at its best. I mean, give us our daily pig. That's what I would say. He lived a fantastic life. He was a happy pig. I saw him in the woods when I finally found him. Just, what am I doing now? What the fuck am I going now with that? Then what we should do is just take some celeriac, salad, ham, celeriac, mustard, parsley. Very simple. It's Britain on a plate. I'd like to think that Charlie would think, you show my pig a bit of respect.
Coming up, Marco looks to complete his shortlist for the feast.
It's a lot of meat. It's quite butch.
Now, this is the venison tartare.
But are the starters a dish too far?
I'd rather stick pins in my eyes.
Marco Pierre White is travelling the UK, hoping to construct a menu for his Great British Feast.
The whole point of this journey is about discovery of great ingredients and then cooking them, taking the inspiration from where I've been and who I've met. I'm here to fly the flag for Britain.
The main course is chosen, fish pie, and now he's looking for potential starters. So far, Marco's chosen herrings and ham, but is seeking a third dish to join his shortlist.
I always like to make my life difficult, and I've always liked to look after the punter. I've always liked to excite their palate.
Today, Marco's heading north. Although game is still a potential option, he wants to check out a seaside classic before he makes his decision.
Well, according to my sat-nav, we're 4 miles away from Morecambe Bay, where we're going to go collecting cockles, which I've never done before. I've eaten them many times, I've cooked them many times, but I've never collected them. So I'm looking forward to being taken and shown how to collect them.
Hello there, I'm Ian McClure from Fluteborough, third generation fisherman. There isn't many families left now that's full-time in the bay. We are one of them, and there's probably about 3 others. We're just getting harder and harder every year now to make a living. It is very dangerous out there if you don't know what you're doing. It catches everybody out at times. You just have to mind what you're doing, know what you're doing, and don't go if you don't think you can get back.
It'll be quite exciting to see how they actually do it. Because, you know, when you work in London, in restaurants, everything's brought to you. So a lot of the time, you don't actually have a great understanding of the natural produce and how it's obtained and how it's caught and how it's brought to you.
It's cold. Oh.
Hello there, how are you?
Hello there, Michael. Pleased to meet you.
How are you, Tony?
Ian.
Ian.
I'm Ian.
Tony's
that's
your
right.
boy then, isn't
That's
he?
right.
I always get it wrong. I'm always reverse. Dyslexia for you.
It's a wild day you've picked, but anyway.
The cockle beds they'll be harvesting are 4 miles offshore.
Quite strange having a cigarette with these big fat gloves on. That's an interesting look there, Frank. It's an interesting look. Look like you should do post offices.
Once a traditional British food, 80% of our cockles are now exported to France or Spain. Like with herrings, part of Marco's mission is to revive our interest in native ingredients.
What's this contraption called?
This contraption's called a jumbo.
A jumbo?
A jumbo. And the idea is you work the board
Yeah.
and it fetches the cockles to the surface.
It's all in the wrist, obviously, isn't it?
All in the
So you
shoulders.
put one foot on here
That's it.
and just rock it.
Just repeat that action for about 5 hours and then you're ready for
I was
home.
going to say, if you're doing this for 5 hours, you'd be quite tired. Pound a pound, and on a pound a kilo, on average day you get 40 to 60 kilos.
It's a lot of work, isn't it?
That's 50p a pound,
Yeah, yeah.
give or take.
Yeah, give or take.
I mean, it's just unbelievable.
That's right, yeah.
That's a lot of
Oh,
graft.
it's a lot of work, yes, yeah.
Now, I'm a big fan of cockles. I love them, I think they're delicious. I think they're very underrated, in my opinion.
It's the same as I was saying to a chap the other day. We live on an island and we don't eat fish.
It's extraordinary.
It's crazy, isn't it, really? Look at the flesh in that one. Beautiful. Better than oysters, those.
But they're delicious. They're delicious.
With a nice bottle of wine.
Exactly, or two.
The freshly dug cockles are beautiful, but Marco's not sure if they're enough to join his shortlist.
What's important about a starter? It's the beginning of your dinner. You know, you want those explosions of taste in your mouth. You want the eye to be amused. Cockles. Maybe not this time.
As Marco heads out on the road in search of something to wow at the feast, his thoughts turn back to game.
If we think of game, it has that sense of occasion which a feast deserves.
Having put his frustrations of the failed pigeon shoot behind him, Marco has set his sights on something bigger. Today he's deer stalking with gamekeeper Kevin.
Haven't you seen it, Marco? No, he's not come out yet. The deer that we've selected is 6-7 years old. He's a very mature buck. He served his time. He's passed on his genes, and it's now time for him to be taken out. And, of course, as always, the meat's very important. Ah, there's a deer there. Can I borrow your binoculars, Kevin? There's a deer on the edge of the wood, just stepped out of the window. It's moved. I just saw its broadside. It's just on the inside of the wood. I know it is. It's a 200-metre shot at best. Yeah, let him come out in the field a bit more, I think. Just waiting for the sun to go down. That last half an hour is an incredible time. It's amazing how many deer pour out of the wood. I think just the sun going down, it's time to feed. But I think that sort of semi-darkness gives them that confidence to step into the fields. Here he comes, I'm running across the field, yeah. Have a look. Yeah.
Yes or no, Kevin? Yes or no?
Yeah.
He's dead.
Yeah, down.
That was a hard shot. I always loved that romance of the poacher. One for the pot, not for greed. And I think if you're going to kill something, you've got to eat it.
Gone out into the field, didn't
Yeah, I saw him do his death run.
Yeah.
I had to do something with venison. And so I thought steak tartare, which I love. I love raw venison.
It's gone through the engine room. You can see it's gone straight through the engine room.
So let's do the venison like a tartare, and it allows us to serve venison as a starter. So what we're going to do is we're going to use the saddle of venison, which the saddle is from the back of the venison. It's one of the finest bits of the venison, if not the finest. So we've got the venison, gherkins, capers, parsley, shallots, anchovy, and a raw egg yolk, and a bit of seasoning and a few bottles. Take our venison, we just cut it into 4. And you know, any good butcher can get you venison, and maybe down the supermarket you'll be able to get venison. So what I'm going to do now is mince it. If you haven't got venison, use steak. Rump steak's fantastic. So what we do now is a teaspoon of gherkins, capers, small ones, parsley, chopped shallots, 1 anchovy crushed, teaspoon of Worcester sauce, just guess that, Tabasco, a few drops depending on how spicy you like it, ketchup, just a little bit, and a splash of olive oil. Okay, very simple. You don't have to be a cook to do this. Just mix it all in. Take our minced venison. It's about 7 ounces of venison. It's a lot of meat. It's quite butch. So there's our tartare. Got one last thing to do here. We separate the white from the yolk. And there is your venison tartare.
Marco's shortlist is now complete. On his travels, he stopped off at a London cafe.
What's your name?
Andre.
Andre, and Marco. I think you should turn your tap off, don't you?
Yeah. Marco.
Look at that.
Marco.
I distracted you purposely.
But
sorry about that, Andre.
film.
It's on film. You've done it. Don't blame me, matey.
With the tasting day around the corner, Marco wants to gauge how the diners might react to his choice of starters. So he's seeking an opinion. And there's no one more opinionated than a London cabbie.
That's Simon.
Hello, Simon.
Hello, Jamie Oliver.
How are you?
But first, Marco can't resist sharing a trade secret with the chef.
Do you have a microwave here?
I do.
Have you ever cooked bacon in a microwave?
No.
Okay, put 4 rashers on a plate in the microwave, 2.5 minutes. Bingo.
I'm going to try whatever you're going to have.
Microwave bacon in a back. You just turn it on about 2 minutes to begin with. Have a look at it.
Do you want a grilled one? That's nice and healthy.
It comes out better in the microwave.
No, it's not good for you.
Why
I'm
not?
making a proper nice grill. You've got a nice grill. Stick
Okay,
on
I'll
the
have
grill.
one of each.
Well, when you
I
start
could
doing chef,
revolutionise
you
your
do-
kitchen. Come back in 6 months' time, you've got a bank of microwaves. Sausages, bacon.
So 30 years in the kitchen, 3 Michelin stars. Marco's top tip, cook your bacon in a microwave.
How much do they charge you for one of these?
Bacon roll is 140. Northumberland Avenue.
Temple Place.
Yeah.
Avenue, Kensington.
There you go.
Yeah, that's 9.
With some more bread.
It's always there, isn't it? Look, that's quite good, that.
Yeah.
There you are, have a microwave bacon sandwich. How nice does that look? Nice, isn't it?
Very nice.
You'll be using that idea, Andre.
You know what I like is I like a bit of quintessential Britain. And I sit here today feeling excuse me, I sit here today feeling very privileged that I can sit in here with you boys. It's like a little boys' club in here, isn't it? See, now I'm going through divorce and I'm a single man again. I think it'd be a great place to date a bird. Very undercover. The paparazzi wouldn't get me, would they? It's the last place they'd expect me.
Wouldn't be allowed in, would they?
I think it'd be quite nice to bring a bird for dinner. Have you ever brought a bird here?
No, not yet.
Over the last several months, I've been discovering individuals who rear or create great produce. We're doing the soused herrings. Do you like herrings, like roll mops?
Yeah,
delicious, aren't they?
Yeah.
And then the other thing we're doing, I do a lot of deer shooting. We all think of venison as the main course, don't we? You get the mince around and then serve it raw.
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 Nice, eh?
No.
The raw venison for a starter, no, definitely not. That wouldn't be me.
Anything raw, people would be concerned about, especially if they haven't had a similar dish.
Despite the cabbie's reaction to venison tartare, Marco's sticking to his guns.
Whoever has the opportunity to come into that dinner should sit down and they should have a go and they should taste a little bit of everything, even if it's not to their liking. Made in England. Get your spoon, get your knife, get your fork and dig in.
Coming up, it's the tasting day at Marco's pub.
They should have the courage to have a go.
But with the diners about to sample his final choice of starters, how will the raw venison go down?
It's raw venison, it's not cooked.
It's the tasting day at Marco's pub in Hampshire. At the age of 33, Marco reached the pinnacle of his profession cooking classic French cuisine.
My journey to win 3-star Michelins was the greatest journey, but I'd got there, I'd done it. And then I retired from the stove.
Now, 8 years later, Marco's stepping back into the kitchen, this time to cook British food. On the menu, his 3 potential starters for the feast. The guests he's invited to the pub are going to taste. The guests he's invited to the pub are going to taste the dishes and help him decide which starter should be served at his great British feast.
The purpose of today is to choose the starter for Marco's Great British Feast. So you'll all be tasting a little bit of the starters and then you'll be given a feedback card.
It's good to take on board other people's opinions, as long as they're presented in the correct way.
It'll be venison tartare, which is raw venison. So I hope you're going to be trying that for us.
It's raw venison, it's not cooked. Not cooked, dear.
All I expect of the guests is to come with the right attitude of mind.
Soused herrings, I'm going to pass on those. I'd rather stick pins in my eyes.
Because if they're not going to be proud of Britain, then they should not turn up.
Marco, first table sitting.
Really?
Start slicing the ham. Yeah. Can you get the venison, please?
With the diners seated, all that's left is for Marco to serve his 3 quite unlikely choices.
Where's Nick? Where's the waiters? Service, come on, don't stand there, out of the way. Thank you.
Now, this is the first dish. It's the soused herrings.
First up, it's the unfashionable soused herrings served with a beetroot salad.
It's very pretty.
Actually, it's very nice. It's very nice.
Not being a fish-eating person, it's pretty damn good.
The fish is a bit too hard for me, too vinegary.
Next, Marco's serving Charlie Burrell's home-cured ham with a celeriac salad.
You're welcome. Oh, that looks wonderful. Celeriac remoulade.
Yes.
Thank you.
I love the herrings, but I have to say I love the ham. The ham's my favourite.
Slightly disappointed with the ham. The flavour from the ham was very delicate, and it was just overpowered by the celeriac.
But the big test is yet to come.
How's a tartare, Matt? Nice and pink, Matt, that meat.
He's serving his most controversial choice last, the raw venison tartare.
I think more people should sort of have the courage to say, actually, I'm going to take a risk, I'm going to roll the dice.
Now, this is the venison tartare. Beautiful. One for you. This is the venison tartare. When you serve venison tartare, it's always a tricky one because it's not everybody's taste. There'll be plenty of wine to swallow it down, I would say, afterwards. So we have to wait and see.
A lot of people are not brought up eating game, and that's why they turn their nose up at it. And even if it's not to their liking, they should have the courage to have a go.
Do you like that? I do like that.
That's actually really, really, really nice.
The first time I've had venison tartare. That is very, very good. Very tasty.
It tasted nice. It tasted nice. If I didn't know what it was, I'd probably have eaten more of it.
Venison is divine. Absolutely divine.
It's not something that I'm used to, so I guess it's a bit ambitious for me.
His guests have decided what they like best, but will Marco agree?
Can I take your feedback cards, please?
They've been asked to list their favourite in order of preference.
Thank you.
I don't know how to spell delicious. Delicious.
So, boss, what do you think has won the day?
If you want my honest opinion, I would have said the herrings.
Okay, why?
I don't think Charlie's ham would have done as well as it should have done. I'd say herrings, tartare, followed by the ham.
For me, I like the venison. For a lot of people, they won't.
The venison was not something that I would naturally go for, but having eaten it, I did like it.
I've never had venison tartare before, and it's an acquired taste and texture.
The ham had a similar taste to Parma ham, which I would eat at home. The celeriac salad made the dish more interesting.
The ham and the celeriac was a bit boring.
I liked all three dishes. I thought the herring especially was lovely. The flavour was really amazing.
So which one do you think it is, boss?
I'd say they've gone, by the sounds of those comments, I'd say tartare or venison.
Least favourite?
Charlie's ham. Obvious.
Which was the diner's favourite, soused herrings or venison tartare?
Venison tartare or herrings. I've got to go for the herrings.
Interesting. Well, 21 out of 30, so it was a venison tartare.
Venison tartare's good, and we can serve it to 200 people.
The question, obviously, if everyone likes venison, that's going to be the problem, isn't it?
The diners have chosen their favourite dish, but whether Marco agrees to serve venison to over 200 people remains to be seen.
I mean, he might be quite nervous. I mean, I would be if you're going to be serving raw venison to 200 people. I mean, here it's okay because it's a small unit, but if you put on 200 people, it's a different story.
So far, the diners have chosen fish pie as the main course, and now venison tartare as a starter. But will Marco decide to serve raw deer at the feast? Next week...
Cheers. Lovely to be here with you.
Marco turns his menu from a meal into a feast.
I mean, that is exquisite, isn't it?
And goes hunting for an appetizer.
Like ladies' legs. I can't wait to watch you strip them.
I've travelled 300 miles to see this, Mr. Baxter. Mr. Ishii, have you ever had school before?
Things get heated in the kitchen.
Frozen fucking smoked eel.
As Marco's under pressure to complete his menu.
I'm staying out of it at the moment.
Do not push me. I don't think you understand what I am.
We have 20 pairs of tickets available if you'd like to attend Marco's feast. For a chance to come along, just go to itv.com/Marco and fill in the application form. You'll need to be 18 or over and be available to travel to Hampshire on July the 15th. The closing date for applications is 10 a.m. on July the 14th, and full terms and conditions are on the site.
It's delicious.
Here on ITV1, tomorrow night we have a one-off documentary following the cases of 3 of the 13 million people admitted to NHS hospitals for treatment every year. And it's being shown to mark the institution's 60th anniversary. Life and Death on the NHS, tomorrow evening here at 9. And coming up after the news next, more drama with 6 Degrees.